Hi there. In this quick video we will be taking a look at this Legrand emergency light and night light. If you are wondering what's the difference between them, well, basically this one is always off while you have power and it's plugged into a socket, and if power goes out for any reason it will light up and remain lit for as long as the internal lithium battery holds it on. Normally that's a few good hours, but we will see that in this one it only takes minutes to be off, and I will try to explain why, and maybe we will even open it up. This little guy, which is the same as this, these two are identical. This one is a night light. This little guy basically doesn't have an internal battery. It has a light sensor, and at night it will light up by itself. It will become on, and after the night passes, in the morning it goes off by itself. I just wanted to also tell you something before I open up the packaging. This one, the emergency light, you can see it's quite dirty in some areas. I don't know if this is from manufacturing or it's a refurbished product, remanufactured, something, or it's really old and has been in weird storage because it is a bit dirty. This one seems perfectly fine and new, so this one is okay. But this one, this I bought first. You can see a lot of marks in here and in here, and they are not from me. I didn't realize it at the time of buying it because I used it in a socket without grounding, so these marks cannot be from me. It's absolutely impossible. And this thing lasts for minutes, so its battery is kind of gonski. So probably the company that I bought it from actually used it internally as an emergency light, or had it on display or something for people to see before buying, and the battery went bad in a few years, which kind of sucks. But given the packaging looks like this, it's quite simple for somebody to plug this in and have it on display and not tell anybody about it. I'm afraid that this maybe was also on display. You can see it badly scratched up. This looks much better. So we'll see. Hopefully this battery still lasts. This one we need to open up and maybe change the battery because it's kind of useless otherwise. And yeah, this one should be working as it's clearly brand new. We'll see. Let's open up the packaging. What I just noticed, they all seem to have some defects from manufacturing on the edge, and I think they are, camera please focus, they are from the way they are glued together, maybe ultrasonic welding or something like that for plastics. So they do, all of them have defects like this. Don't really matter. So this hopefully is good. This 99.9% is good, and this we need to open up. And this is the socket that I'm using the emergency light in the bathroom. There's zero chance of marking the grounding area because it doesn't have grounding right here next to the switch. It was actually built only for an emergency light. That's why I put it here, and I knew that these things don't have grounding. Let's see, can we turn it on or off? Yep, we can. Hold for 5 seconds. Or maybe if I directly press on it while it's off and hold it. Ha ha ha, like that it changes. So now it's like this. You can see it, cold white. If I long press on it now, actually like this, let's long press, it will adjust the cold light level. So the cold light is right at the bottom. Let's turn it off. Press 5 seconds. And in the middle we have the warm light. So the main light is the warm one. Let's get it to max. You can see it's really tricky to guess when it's at max, because it doesn't, I passed it. I hope I'm at max. Now I'm at max, I think. So, yeah, kind of annoying. Anyway, so it's working, but does it have enough juice at least for a second? And when it's juiceless, when it doesn't, it's not plugged in, it will be like this. And I don't think you can make it off, but let's see, can I power it on warm? No. When it's not plugged in, it's only cold. It's only cold light. But like this, I can make it also warm to light up something. But when it's in flashlight mode, emergency light mode, it's only like this, cold. In case I didn't tell you, you can adjust the emergency light level also when it's in emergency light mode. So in case less light is enough for you, you can make it last a lot, way more than the 2 hours they say, but either way, the 2 hours, and then it jumps up to what it was, so it doesn't remember your setting. Even if you go to basically almost nothing, let's try to go to almost nothing. You can see it here. I plugged it in. Now it's warm white, and it's full brightness on emergency light again, which makes sense because in case of something you initially at least need full brightness. So yeah, it lasts way more than they say the 2 hours. And in another room where this will be used, this is the night light. Hopefully it works. Yep, it works. And when it's bright, it's off. Dark, on. And while it's on, let's change the intensity. As you can see, somewhere there was max, now minimum, maximum. So it's quite difficult to guess when you are at full maximum, but yeah, anyway, we are in auto mode, and now somehow they say to press this and hold it pressed, and now we should be out of auto mode. Nope. Press again. Nope. So getting out of auto mode doesn't seem, or no, my bad. So out, press it, keep it pressed, and now plug it in, and you could see it do something. And now we are out of auto mode. Now we are in full manual. Make it fully bright. And if we long press directly here, does it do anything? No, not really. It's still an on-off. But we are out of auto mode. Let's see, if I unplug it, does it forget? Yep, it forgets. So it stays out of the auto mode only for as long as it has power. If you want it out of the auto mode, press on it, plug it in, it tells us something, and now it's fully manual. But if you take it out, it goes back to being a full auto light, which you cannot turn on or off no matter what you do. While it's in full auto, it does its own thing. You can only adjust the brightness. So yeah, let's run them for a good while and see how they work. We do have a few of them running and we are quite happy with them. Hopefully also with the new additions. So, tried to open this with a knife. Absolutely no chance whatsoever. I'm going to try and cut with this thingy all around. Hopefully do not destroy the electronics. But yeah, there's no other way to get into this, and there's no screws or something like that. It's ultrasonically welded, most likely. That was going way too slow. This plastic it's quite hard to cut a soft plastic. So there might be a different way. There is an opening right here. I'm going to try and pry out the lid, the cover, the button, the whatever you want to call it. It's not going to be easy. Some marks will be left, but yeah, like this it would be way too hard. With all my cutting, I didn't even touch the interior. And yep, this came out. Some marks were left on the edge, some marks on this. But probably like this they also assemble this thing. Rely on the plastic giving away just enough for this to pop in, then it keeps it in there. So this is probably welded before the electronics are in here. And now we can take a look at the tiny 80 milliamp hour lithium battery from 2015. Whoa, this is an old battery. But at least now I know that I can basically replace the batteries in these thingies. I'm going to search for a similarly spec'd battery from a good brand if I manage to find one, and stick it in here, close this thing right back up, and all should be fine and dandy. Underneath we have the 220 volt connections, an insulator, the PCB with the two wires, a protection capacitor, an X capacitor. Come on. Camera, focus please. Camera, are you not seeing what I'm seeing? So this is the X protection capacitor, the two types of LEDs, and the tiny battery that's on double-sided tape in here on the PCB, and the battery is a bit puffy. So that battery needs replacing. At this moment in time it's actually not holding a charge at all. So it went from being really weak to being non-working. I'm not even going to try and jump start it because I know it's gone. So yeah. And the tiny battery is unglued. I will again search for one to replace it, put it back in, and hopefully this will work again. And at maximum capacity, that would be awesome. Size of battery, it's 21 millimeters long, about 12 millimeters wide, and about 5.5 millimeters thick. Just learned that this code gives us the size. 45 is 4.5 millimeters thick, 12 millimeters is the width, and 20 millimeters the length. So I was quite close, but it's clear that it's puffy at this point. So bad. And a good while later I bought a battery. Celevia batteries. Well, the issue is I was just finding no names without even a protection circuit on them, and I don't like fires. So yeah, this is not a, I don't know, a known brand, but it seems they actually make quite a lot of batteries, lithium batteries. So yeah, I bought this. Wasn't that cheap at all actually, but it does have protection. I could have taken the protection from this battery and transplanted to a new one. But again, I don't like to play with lithium batteries. They go spoof and burn your house down. So better use something directly properly made. So as you can see, this thingy is a bit wider, and instead of 80 milliamp hour it's 70 milliamp hour, which is a bit less, but nothing to write home about. But hopefully it will fit in here. From what I saw, honestly, this was actually kind of spread out when we took it apart. So I decided that most likely it will fit in here, but we'll see now. Soldered in my new battery, keeping in mind the polarity. This one is the negative, and as you can see, it's already on because this had a charge and has a charge in it. So the old one, for sure, it was Gansky. But then again, it was puffy. So lithium puffy means bad. Covered mine in an added layer of Kapton tape. Where is it? There. just to make sure it will not short, because it will stay in a weirder position than the original one because it's wider. But yeah, in theory now I can start closing this thingy back up. Make sure the insulation on the bottom remains in its position, and start pressing slowly the PCB in. The original red wires for the mains will go in their respective places. Continue to push the PCB until it latches. It will have a step on this particular dome at one point, so it will latch underneath it, but you kind of need to press it a lot in there. And now let me find some room for this battery in here. Again, it will not be in the proper position, but these LEDs are that small that they do not really create any heat. So even if the battery touches them, even the original one touched them, but this will touch them a bit more, it's a non-issue. They are running so low on heat that it will not matter for the battery. And here it is. So it has enough room. Yes, it's not flat on its back, it's on its side. It might cut just a tiny bit from the light if you are looking at an angle, so we might see on the lens that the LED is not shining properly, maybe in this area a tiny bit, we'll see. But yes, there is enough room for everything. Put that original glue, removed it from under the battery and put it in a corner, more like a spacer, stabilizer stuff. Battery is not moving anywhere, you do whatever you want to it, it's there to stay, it's insulated, although even the original battery itself is insulated, so this layer is non-conductive on the battery, it's a plastic layer. But anyway, insulated further, so everything should be perfectly fine. Let's pop in this, make sure in that corner where we have the switch, this side will go, so don't put it the other way around because there will be nothing to act on the switch. And yeah, plug this in, but as you can see it still has power, so should be working just okay. Or I might let it drain, so when it's off I will plug it in to see if it's charging, because if I put it now, literally I will never know if it's charging properly or not. This one wasn't anymore, so that's for sure Gansky, but this one, hopefully, let me see if it will charge, but for that I need to discharge it fully first. Getting ready to pop the cover back in. Up until now it all seems fine and dandy. Slowly pop it in there. Yeah, I don't know how easy this will go. I might need both hands because it has these elastic elements right here which will not allow me to pop it with one hand, so I need to press on them with the other hand. But slowly it will go in there. I can tell you for a fact it's not easy to close this. I think the secret is to get these little spring elements in on both sides first and then push the rest. But I'm not sure, I'm just doing my best, but for sure this is not easy to close at all. Oh man, this is nerve-wracking on the last push, because it will literally get stuck at the last moment and then you push it to all of it go over the edge. That's why we saw cracks on the edge. This is a really stressful process for the plastic itself. But you can see our battery in there, but you can also see there's room under the plastic, so we are not touching it. So this is working exactly as it should, but at the same time we do have that area where the battery being bigger prevents the LED from shining in that direction, and we have some reflections from the Kapton tape, a little bit of yellowish tinge. But hey, we saved another product from the landfill, which is all that I care at this point in time, honestly. In here, yes, again, I tried to open it up the wrong way, but I never cut enough to go through the plastic, so that's a non-issue. And yeah, let me discharge this thingy and see then if it charges. Hopefully it does. Bad news about the old battery. This is why it actually failed in this particular light. And I don't like what I see at all. So basically this was wrapped in Kapton tape and then bent over like this in here and wrapped in even more Kapton tape. But when I started unwrapping it, look what I discovered. And it also smells quite bad, so it's clear there's a puncture right into the internals of this particular battery. And who made the puncture? It's the negative wire that went through the Kapton tape because it was soldered a bit improperly onto the PCB. The end was too long on this, and it actually in time punctured the battery itself. Now, was this punctured from the beginning or only after it began to actually swell? That I do not know, but I can tell you for a fact, I'm quite happy I replaced this battery. Because from a punctured lithium battery, a fire can start really easily. Luckily the puncture was at the end of the battery. I think they are mostly sensitive in this area when you puncture more layers and you basically short them. At the end maybe that's why nothing happened, but anyway, I don't like what I see at all, honestly. So yeah, a bitter bag cannot talk. A bit better quality checking should be done, honestly. In a bit better light, so you don't think I created this puncture. This has leaked over a long time. But luckily it did not make a fire. This is it, literally 7 hours later. I'm not going to put it through this misery anymore. I'm putting it into the wall socket to charge. But yeah, 7 hours. So these things last like crazy. I'm not sure with the original battery, but if they don't lie and it's actually 80 milliamp hours, also I don't know if this battery was fully charged. These things last a lot. And the procedure was a success. This thing is charging, is switching, provides the required amount of light, so we saved it. And this is the night light in a room, so you can see we are using this at a night light in our daughter's room. It's enough that you see what you need and it doesn't bother you while sleeping. And if you want something brighter, this video will be in the description with something from IKEA. Just a moment, I don't think I can directly plug it in without shocking myself. As you can see, way more light. So if you prefer that, this video will be in the description. And on. No man, this... But if I cover the area a little bit, it's on. I don't get it. Let me try in another room. What is this? Is my phone doing something to it? Let me test without my phone being pointed at it. Yep, it's my phone. So literally something from my phone. Is it using... I think it has laser autofocus. Somehow it's disrupting this. So this is way easier to disrupt compared to the IKEA one. If you're wondering how much light they produce, well, this is it. Nothing, and with it on. So if it's on a bathroom on a wall, for sure you will see what you need to do to get out and finish your thing just by using this. And you can use it all around the house in case of a power outage. And the night lights output about the same amount of light if they are running at max, but obviously you can lower it from here. So we lost power and I literally went and grabbed one of these things from the socket that it was in, and I can go up the stairs without any issues with this little guy. So I highly recommend you get something like this. They are perfect in times of blackouts. Sorry for my phone not focusing, but this doesn't emit too much light, but enough that you can do what I need around the house. So yeah, they are awesome. And yes, obviously you can turn it off to not use power in case you don't need it, but as you can see, we don't really have. All that we have is from another one that's still plugged in, that you see a bit of something around, and my phone. My watch, not phone. So this, great. Yeah, that's about it for this long video. All of them are working. Saved this one, quite happy with them. Hopefully they will work for a long time, but there should be a bit better quality check to don't have issues with the battery that could actually cause fires. So I was lucky that that punctured battery literally didn't start a fire. Who would believe that this was the culprit for starting a fire in a house? So yeah, that's about it for this video. Hope it helps you, in which case please give it a like, check out my other videos, and as always, see you in the next one. Bye.